For today's project on my Jeep, we're putting in my new seats. Welcome back to the yellerfab YouTube channel. Some of you may know me from Instagram. I'm yellerlife there, and I've been a member of Team PRP for 5 years now. These here are my seats that I got 5 years ago, and these are my brand new seats. Thank you so much to PRP Seats for working with me for 5 years now and helping me create my dream seats. This here is one of the seats that I've ran since 2020. It is the Daily Driver series seats from PRP Seats. My Jeep did used to be my daily driver, so it made a ton of sense for me to have these. I have loved running these seats. They're very comfortable. I couldn't even begin to count how many trail miles I have on them, let alone road miles from when I was daily driving it. The Daily Driver seats are one of the most basic seats you can get from PRP, but I would highly recommend them to anyone that daily drives their vehicle. There's low bolstering on the sides, so it's easy to get in and out of your vehicle. And overall, it is a great seat. I loved the time that I ran these seats. This is my brand new seat, which is the Complete. As you can tell, I loved the color scheme of my first seats, so I did not stray too far from that here. But I did do the hexagon stitch center. I got my logo embroidered into it. And if you can see the cord here, they're heated. I'm very excited about that. To compare these two seats, the bolstering on this seat, the Daily Driver here, is much lower on the sides, whereas on the Complete, it's a lot higher, so it'll keep you held safely in the vehicle. The Completes are roughly an inch higher, so we're finding that out when we put them in. We need to sit them a little lower so I can sit at the same height. Another difference is I did cloth in the center of my seat here, but I did full vinyl on these. I found that on these seats, the vinyl was so much easier to clean compared to the cloth. It has held up great. There's nothing wrong with it, but to me, vinyl was just so much easier to take care of. So in my new seats, I did full vinyl. Again, I would highly recommend the Daily Driver seats to anyone who does daily drive their vehicle. These seats are absolutely wonderful. I had a great experience with them, but I am so excited to get used to these seats and see how I like them. I have a feeling I'm gonna love them. Here are a few quick clips of the seats next to each other. Wow, that's really hard to say. Quick clips. So it's time to get the seats put in. Side note, I was a little nervous getting these seats because there is this big hump at the front of the cushion on the Completes, and me already not being very tall, I didn't want something that brings my legs up higher, which in turn makes it harder for me to reach the pedals because I like sitting pretty far back. So, fun fact, the cushions from the Alpha seats fit in the Completes. And for me, these Alpha cushions are so comfortable and they don't restrict my legs at all in any way. I can reach the pedals with them in. So I got me a set of matching Alpha cushions. So I can unzip this Complete cushion and pull the heating element out and put it right into these cushions. Okay, for real now, let's get them installed. So first off, as I had mentioned, the Completes sit about an inch, maybe a little more than that, higher than the Daily Driver seats. And we had built my roll cage and set my harness bar based around the Daily Driver seats. So Nick redesigned my seat brackets. Next up, cutting them out on the plasma table. This is what my old seat brackets looked like for my Daily Driver seats. As you can see, they're pretty tall. And then here is the newly designed seat bracket against the old one. As you can see, we were able to take away a little bit of height there. Nice. While these still might be a tiny bit taller than I'm used to, the goal is not to have my seats mounted to the regular seat brackets in the future. The plan has always been to build seat brackets out of DOM and tie them into my roll cage. Here is one of many test fits to see if they work right. But yeah, the safest way to build this would be to have them tied into my roll cage. But we're just not doing that right now because we are building a toy hauler, if you've seen our other videos. Okay, time to put the seats in. And my seats are now in. Here's what they look like. And next, harnesses. Okay, next we're putting in the harnesses. I got another set of the 4.2 harnesses. I bought the 4.3s at one point with my old seats thinking that's what I was going to use. But it was like I was wearing a whole shirt. They were huge. So Nick and I both kind of agree the 4.2s are the perfect width. I wouldn't want any harnesses wider than these. Another thing I love about the 4.2s, I love that they have this seatbelt latch here. It's so quick and easy to use this. I feel like if I had the duckbill latch, I would not be encouraged to always latch it every time I got in and out of the Jeep because it's a lot more work, whereas this takes 2 seconds. I have no excuse to not be buckled up when I'm wearing this.
Yeah, the duckbills are good. They're strong. They're probably like stronger in general,
Sure. But to me, I want something that I'm gonna want to wear.
These are easy.
We get in and out of the Jeep constantly on the trails, whether it be to take pictures, to watch a friend, spot a friend through an obstacle. Yeah. We're always in and out of the Jeep. So when we get back in, I don't want something that takes any amount of time to latch back up because I feel like then it's just gonna make me not want to wear it, and that's bad because you need to be wearing these at all times. So let's get them put in. I'm partially showing this for my own info, but this is good for anyone here too. I already have my roll cage set up, so my angles are all pretty proper for the most part. But the most important part that I have to remember every time we put my harnesses in and out is how to properly wrap them over a roll bar. Always coming back to these. So if you're here and you don't have this saved somewhere in your phone, take a screenshot. I have it saved in my phone permanently so that I can't ever lose this info. So first off, down here, I have mounts already. Double sheared, as you can see. Your seatbelts must be double sheared if they're bolted in. This one here.
Should be double sheared. I don't know why I said.
Well, okay, they should be. And here is my harness bar. So technically your harness bar should be at or below your shoulders. This is a little bit low. We built it to the daily driver seats, but this should be okay. As you can see here, they can go down slightly, but really they should be just about right at your shoulders. Do you want to go sit in it now and make sure that still feels okay?
Yeah, I wish this was a little bit tighter on the bar.
Okay, now just repeating what we just did for Nick. Now I'm sitting in the driver's seat and he's gonna go back there and adjust everything to fit me properly. Your shoulders should be fully covered by the padding of the harnesses. So like some people will put it down too low. This isn't right. The padding needs to be on top of your shoulders, right?
I like it to be like, I
feel like I like this right
the
here.
shoulder almost fully covered from the pad.
Yeah.
Because like it's just, I mean that's what you're gonna take.
But it's padding
the
for a
abuse,
reason.
yeah.
That's what you're gonna hit most likely in bumps, and you want the padding to cover your shoulder in the front and on top.
Some people like it a little bit lower though, and I don't know.
I don't feel like that's proper. Yeah, this feels right.
How's the up down of that?
Okay, my seats are in now. Do you want to see them? They are so pretty. I'm so excited about them. Here's a little close-up of the new seat bracket that Nick made. And I just wanted to show you here that I also got pockets on the back. And again, from the driver's side, and there's my logo. I love it so much. I definitely have to get used to climbing up and over the bolsters, but it does feel nice and secure when you're sitting in them though. I still sit up a little higher in these than I did in the daily driver seats, even though we remade new seat brackets. So that's probably going to take a little getting used to. But yeah, other than that, they're super comfy. So I'm excited to get my first trail days in on them this weekend. So my first impression of the Compleats, they are way more structured than the daily driver seats. I don't know if that was the right word, but they like hug you at every spot and there's no way to sit incorrectly in them. They're a very specific ergonomical shape. Whereas the daily drivers are a little more of a regular seat. They definitely do have more structure to them than a stock seat, but definitely not as much as these. If you want to see everything we do in my Jeep this summer, follow me on Instagram at yellerlife. I post a Jeep picture there every single day. We have a whole ton of wheeling trips coming up. And let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about these seats or anything else about my Jeep build. Thank you again to PRP for working with me for 5 whole years now. I am so excited to get out there and use my new seats. And if you're watching this, that means we've already had our first wheeling weekend in them, because as I record this, we're going to Drummond Island, Michigan this weekend for trail cleanup. And I'm going to go get the new badge of honor while we're there, because why not? Okay, I think that's everything. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, bye.